Good evening. Welcome to another beautiful day with us at Live with Lloyd. I'm your host, astronumerologist Lloyd Strayhorn. As you see, I'm going to have a very interesting and dynamic guest on in just a few moments, Sasha B. And she's going to be talking about wellness and whatnot for women. Okay, we all need to kind of like, hold on, let me see this. Okay, get this straight a second. All right. It's interesting about the technology. I learned something from Simon on Monday when I had King Simon on the show, and that is how to split the screen, put something on there. So I'm going to try tonight for the first time. But anyway, thank you for joining us this evening. I am your host, Lloyd Strayhorn. And again, I want to let you know before we start, our sponsors is U-Juice. It is sugar-free. It's a great product. All you got to do is go to levittstore.com, Livettstore, Livettstore.com, and order your products. I have a case of juice in my refrigerator right now. I have the purple one on the left. That seems to be my favorite. Also sponsored by Nicholas Brooklyn. They're going into 51 years, so they're going to have to update me a flyer with this, but they're 50 going on plus 51 years, and they're at 1396 Fulton Street in Brooklyn. Also sponsoring is Manifest on Purpose by Miss Kimberly, who has a podcast every Monday, Wednesday, sometimes Thursday, Sundays, and also she has Astronumerology Revealed. So when you go to YouTube, you just type in the word Kimberly, Kimbaley _ and you will, and her YouTube channel will have all the features that she has there. Also on the 21st, Brother Nkaru is in Nairobi, Kenya. In fact, he is going to be a part of the March Power Series on the value of precious stones. So that's going to be very interesting. Also, King Simon, this coming Saturday, the 22nd, from 1. We had a very interesting time yesterday. Monday. We couldn't stop laughing. So we both need some counseling. Okay, that's my attitude. But anyway, before I bring on my guest, I want to let you know that today is. I knew it. It's not no Monday. It's Wednesday, but it is the 19th though. Got that straight. So don't pay that no mind. It's Wednesday. It's always something. Well, anyway, please like, share, subscribe. I don't ask for money. That's very important. Above the date, I don't ask for money. I don't DM me for money. Please no. But everything other than today being Wednesday, the sun is in Aquarius, the moon is in Scorpio. It's 11 universal month, a 5 universal week. And one day I'll explain how I'm doing all of this. 3 universal day. And if you are a Sagittarius, such as my guest is about to come to the front, a Pisces, or born on the 3rd, the 12th, the 21st, or the 30th of the month, this is your day. Well, I got to tell you, I can't wait to bring this beautiful lady up. Sasha B, how are you, young lady?
I am amazing, Lloyd. How are you?
Fine. Listen, you are a wellness coach, a mindset coach. What
Yeah.
led you on this journey?
So I wasn't always a self-proclaimed wellness or mindset coach. It's kind of like it's always been like a natural thing. I've always been what you would call the strong friend. Like everyone always comes to me for advice. And so it's just always natural to me to give advice. And so I started my business. I started off, on my own self-help journey, self-care journey, or what you would call it.
Mm-hmm.
And I started to realize that, essentially we all have the tools already within ourselves to heal ourselves. We just have to tap into that potential. And so once I learned that, I felt like it was my duty to share that with other women, because women tend to be, not to take away from men, but women tend to carry a lot, on our shoulders on a day to day, careers, family, our own personal lives. And it's a heavy balancing act. and it's easy to burn out. So I've experienced that myself personally. But knowing that, once we find balance and we tap into our true self, our true power, we're able to heal all things within ourselves, our family, our home. It just takes, some knowing, because sometimes women could be unaware because they're stuck in the matrix or like the everyday, rigmarole.
Hmm.
So it just I feel like it's like my calling, just to kind of like remind women, like, we do have this ability to draw this power from within ourselves to heal ourselves. It just sometimes you gotta, just leave a little motivation, a little, a little just, hey, you have this power to tap into. You just gotta tap in, information. Sometimes we don't have access to information. So
It makes me think because I'm looking at it from a male perspective because that's who I am. That it's a lot of work, even being a man, to support a family, raise a family, going to work. The only difference is we just don't bear children or take care of them as a woman would do in a way that only a woman can do.
right.
And I guess that's why in all species, it's always the female that take care of the offsprings. But it's a lot of burden either way you do it. And
Yeah.
especially like in the days of my parents and their grandparents, is normally the father went to work and the mother could stay home with the babies and raise the babies or the children. Nowadays, the women, the dog, the cat, everybody got to go to work in the house, you know?
That makes it that presents its own set of problems, because naturally as a woman you want to be in the home. You want to be able to raise the children, nurture just nurture like the household. But
Sure,
it's like
sure.
you have to work, right? And so you work a 8 hour, 10 hour day, and then you come home and you have to still do your motherly duties or your womanly duties. So it's just like it's easy to experience burnout. And I've come across a lot of women who essentially are going through the same things. And it's interesting because the women I talk to, they feel alone or isolated in their journey. And I'm just like, you would be surprised to know that not everyone, right? But most women kind of feel the same and go through the same thing. So I like to create spaces where I can get women in a room together and we could all fellowship with one another, talk, communicate. And it's like a release, because now I can pull from you, you can pull from me. And whenever I host events, and whenever my events are over, I am filled with so much energy, because I'm everyone is leaving and they're full. Like they
Hmm.
came into the
Hmm.
room, their glasses were empty. Now they're leaving, they're filled. They're ready to take on the world, and they're leaving with information that they probably didn't have before. And then so just understand, like, I'm not alone in my journey. I'm not alone. So
I don't doubt it. It's not easy being a woman in today's. There's so much expectation. Actually, there's a lot of expectations on both sides of the equation, to be honest with you. But even more so, because of the complexities of life, and especially the addition of women raising children. We make children, but we don't raise children. We don't bring children into the world. So there is definitely a tremendous difference. If you hear any background noise, I'm in New York City and Harlem, so there's always something going on outside of whatever the case is. But let me ask you this. So women have always come to you, but what made you decide? What was the tipping point, so to speak, where you said, okay, I think I want to set this up. I want to make some, and also you make products that we're going to talk about too, and set up a website and really do this. What made you take it to that kind of level where then you become a wellness and mindset coach?
coach, you want to know the honest truth? It was fear.
Fear?
Fear. Yes.
Can you explain?
Yes. So just like, I'm a very private person, right? So you kind of really have to be in my circle to get like the true me. But so I used to have candle making events. My journey as a wellness coach started as I made candles, and I would host candle making events, and primarily women would come, And I started to realize that like the energy, the environment just felt, it was like electrifying. Like it was really good because
Mhm.
people got to physically experience me and my energy, right? And so before every event, I would be terrified. I would like, overthink, panic, like, oh my gosh, is it gonna be good? And once the event started, it flowed wonderfully. And when it was over, I'm like, wow, I could really do this, or I am doing this, right? And so I knew what I really wanted to do was I wanted to host wellness events where I'm specifically talking to women about how we can heal each other, heal ourselves, and heal each other. But I was afraid. I was afraid I wouldn't.
Really?
I was afraid. Yes, I was afraid that I wouldn't do well, that I would fail.
They fooled you.
Right. And so um I just said to myself, because I used to get stuck in my head with these thoughts. And then so one day I had to verbally say, are you gonna do, or are you gonna let fear stop you, or are you gonna just do it? Like, just do it. Like, what are you afraid of? Just do it. I used to struggle with being like perfect. And in trying to be perfect, I never made it. I was always stuck with the idea. And so I said, you know what? The worst that could happen is that you fail. And I just took that fear. I just used the fear. I just kind of just jumped into it. And I'm happy I did because, and also I'm just like, sometimes I feel like, who are you to help anyone or to guide anyone? But I'm just like, because you're you. That's why God gave you that power. God gave you that, so just, why are you doubting yourself? So I had to have like a verbal conversation with myself that I need to just do it scared, do it anyway, and see what happens. And to be honest, I love it. It really brings me so much joy when I get to connect with women and I can like feel what they're going through, and I can say like, like, you're gonna be okay. Like, it feels heavy now, but it's okay. You're gonna be okay. And I love when they come back, like, sis, you was right. Everything is okay. I'm like, yeah, like, you have to trust yourself. And I'm like, I can't practice I cannot practice what I'm preaching. I can't tell everyone, oh, like, trust yourself, believe in yourself. And here
Yeah,
I
that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense.
yeah. So I just had to just do it scared. And I still do it scared. Before every event, I'm just like, oh my God, is it gonna be good? Are they gonna have a good time? And then it's always amazing. It's always amazing.
Well, I think now, so from what I'm saying and hearing, you do two types of consultations, which is a one-on-one and a
Hmm.
group. Which is more preferable to you, a group or
I like group. I mean, honestly, this
okay, that?
this depends. It depends on what the individual needs, right? So I prefer the group setting because the women can connect with each other. It's not only me, right, as the wellness coach. They can see other women that are going through similar things, and they can say, okay, yeah, like, she's right. Like, it's not only me. I'm not alone. Because I'm telling you, a lot of times women, we feel unseen and alone. So when you're in a room or a space with 5 women, 6, 7, 8 women, you're like, okay, like, I'm going through that same exact thing. It's kind of like, it's refreshing. You just feel like, okay, like, maybe I can get through this, or I will get through this. And it's like a feeling of community. Like, you have community, you have help, you have someone to lean on. So yes,
You
I,
know, I
I
think
prefer group coaching.
I think there should be more for men. We men are kind of wired different, obviously, where I guess we figure we can conquer the world all by ourselves, but knowing that just as women kind of connect to kind of share and see that common challenge or
I
things that they go through, it seems like it should be for men also.
No, I agree, because you know what? As women, as nurturers, we see and we know when our men are struggling and when our men need support. And the thing is, like, we try to support our men the best we can, but I think naturally, because men are like raised to be strong, and like, when
Yeah.
we say, oh, babe, what's going on with you? Oh, I'm good. I'm all right. I'm good. You don't want to open up to us, right? And even though we know something's wrong, we're trying to, rub your back,
No,
and
that is very true.
and
That
then
is
you
very
just,
true.
we're good. No, we're good. You have this tough exterior. So I do agree that men should have a space where they could be around other men and there's no judgment. And you can just like let your guard down and cry to your brother. And it's just like, yo, I'm having a rough day. I'm having a rough time. I can't, like, ends is not meeting. I feel like I'm a failure. Whatever the things that men may feel
And
that.
we go through changes, but we're
Yeah.
told to more bottle it, hold it in, be a man, be strong. And
I don't
sometimes
raise my
we
sons
need
like
some help.
that.
Well, good. Yeah, good.
Yeah, I don't.
Good.
If I tell my sons, like, like, talk to me, like, feel what are you feeling right now? Like, I'm not saying, I don't like to say that. I don't like to say like the word crybaby, but
Sure, sure.
I just let them, like, it's okay to express your emotion in a healthy way. You can't have a temper tantrum, right? But
Mm-hmm.
you need to be able to express, because I do see that our men are not very expressive, and it breaks my heart, because then you just the energy never lies. Even when you say, oh no, I'm okay, we know you're not okay.
Well, expressive to us is to show emotions, and we men can't. And then sometimes in dating relationships with men, women will say, well, I want to see the sensitive side. But if men show the sensitive side, then all of a sudden we're not strong enough. It's almost seems to be paradoxical. I don't know where that comes from. I ain't trying to say you ladies, but I'm just trying to tell you that
I guess because
if I have a boo-hoo moment, it's like, okay, boy, he got a strong backbone. I mean, come on,
I mean, I guess because I don't know how this is gonna sound, but I guess we don't want to have, like, every day you coming in, like, on the couch, like, snot, tears, like, what's going on,
No,
like.
no, we men ain't gonna do that, believe me, but we will have our moments. I mean, we're human too. And
Yeah,
I think that's one of the reasons why men are more inclined to have strokes and heart attacks. Like
yeah.
if a woman is upset, she'll express it through anger, she'll throw the dishes against the wall. We men gotta hold it in. So it's like a pressure cooker. And because we hold it in and don't express it, when it is expressed, it might be to a point where we're not feeling good, but we feel good anyway. So I just think it's very, very interesting.
I think that's where emotional intelligence comes in, right?
Ah,
You have to be able to effectively communicate to your partner what you're feeling, right? And so, say for example, you and your partner are having a disagreement, right? And
mhm.
um you're not equipped in the moment to, like, have a productive conversation. You should be able to just say, you know what, you got to give me an hour or so, and we just have to be able to, like, as a unit, because we know we're stronger as a unit. But
Definitely, definitely.
when we're having emotional responses and we don't know how to articulate how we feel, this is where the breakdown in communication happens, and now we're at odds. When it's not like I'm gonna be the problem, you're just having a bad day, but now we're at odds because we can't communicate what we're feeling. So I think a part of, like, men expressing themselves has to kind of do with the level of emotional intelligence. Not saying your men are not emotionally intelligent, but it's just like you
No,
have
I
to.
understand. I
Right.
understand. Another thing I have too is that uh, sometimes the field, at least when I talk to men, that men's, the women that they're involved with, whether girlfriend, wife, or whatever level they are, it's as if the woman expects to know what the woman is thinking about. Now, I'm a great numerologist, but I'm not a psychic.
Right, you're not a mind
So
reader.
if you don't say anything, how do we know? And so, has that ever been discussed in a women's group about
Yes,
why that is?
yes.
If
So
women should really tell the man instead of having them, well, you should have figured out because
no,
you're
I
trying
don't.
to pay bills
I
and
don't.
deal with all the.
No, 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 no. I don't. So I also hold I call them my tribe. I don't refer to them as clients. Like, once you are a part of, like, my Helio Wellness group, where you're a family, we're a tribe, and so I hold them accountable, because you really cannot expect anyone, man, child, anyone, to read your mind. You're an adult. You need to be able to say, okay, this is bothering me. This is why it's bothering me, and then we can discuss why it's bothering me, and you can allow the other person. So say if they offended you in any type of way, right? By you saying what's wrong, you're giving them the chance to now correct it or correct the behavior. But if you're just walking around with attitude, and he's just like, and then he goes, what's wrong with you? Nothing. You know,
Yeah.
and it's just
Yep,
like, how
exactly.
many times do you want me to ask you what's wrong with you before? And then if I say, okay, it's nothing, and I leave you alone, I was just like, oh, you don't care. Like, make it make sense. I'm confused. Like,
Yeah, no, but it confuses us. That's exactly
yeah.
my point. It is confusing. It's just like when a woman asks about us men, knowing we're not looking good or feeling good, we say, "Oh, we okay." So I guess it works on both sides of the equation to a degree.
It just boils down to just one being comfortable, right? To express how you're feeling, knowing you have that safe space to communicate how you're feeling. I think that's important. I think that's also what happens as far as like the breakdown communication is like you don't feel safe, to say exactly how you feel. So I think with women, you know, I like to give the woman the job, right? To create that like that safe, nurturing space for the man to come and express himself without us cutting them off. Because I know I used to do that all the time. I couldn't wait to jump in and say, "Oh no, but I realized what happens is like when you cut the person off, like it's kind of disrespectful. It's just like it says you're not listening to me, first of all, and you don't respect my thoughts. So it's important to let your partner have their full thought. And then what I do is I repeat what they say so I could make sure they know I heard them. And so I know I
Mhm.
fully understand what they're saying so that I'm not assuming, or if I interpret incorrectly, you can correct me. And it could be just like a space where, it's not argumentative. Even if like I'm agitated, like I understand, okay, this is not about me, it's about you right now. And I'm not gonna, what I don't like. So say for example, like you'll come to me and you'll say, hey, I didn't like the way you spoke to me on Tuesday. It rubbed me the wrong way. And the woman will say, well, on Wednesday, you said the same thing to me on Wednesday. Like, I think that's not healthy. I think you should address what's being brought to you, and you can say, okay, you know what, I can see that, how to make you feel. I apologize, and then you move on. Or you can say, but I just want to let you know on Wednesday I was also offended, and then you can just work on it. But I just think it all boils down to how you communicate, and just creating that safe space to communicate. And I think you both need to be receptive and listening to hear and not to respond, because a lot of times that's the issue too. We're just trying to be right and we're not listening to what our partner is trying to tell us. We're just trying to like jump in and say, oh no, but and it's just like, I'm trying to get through to you, and I want to be heard and understood. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
but you know what? That brings another question into play too. Is that it is supposedly that women always want to be right and they're never wrong. It's like, or that we're afraid to admit mistakes. Like today, when I'm doing the forecast, it's Wednesday, not Monday, but I had it up there, so I can't pretend that I didn't make a boo boo, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? But sometimes I don't know whether this is in all women. I think that would be a generality to say, well, all women don't like to. What say
grown
you in your women experience with
grown
women?
women, mature women are not afraid to say when they've made a mistake. Like it's
Yeah,
okay.
hold
Like
up. Can you repeat that one more time, please? So I
grown,
can.
grown adult, mature women are not afraid to say when they made a mistake.
Okay.
Because how can we move forward if you're being like, first of all, it's unfair because we all make mistakes, right?
Yes.
I'm
Yes.
assuming
Exactly.
you will want your partner to, if they made a mistake, to say, hey, I made a mistake and apologize or whatever. Is this kind of like, I think you just need to treat others the way you want to be treated. I think that's like just like basic, right? Basic. But a lot of times I think people just get caught up in, I don't want to say, but it's just like selfishness, and they may not see it that way, like that they're being selfish, but it's just like you can't expect from someone what you're not willing to give or reciprocate.
That makes sense. That makes sense. Now, you have, as a result of forming this alliance with women in the group individually and collectively, you've, as a result, developed some products and services. Would that be correct?
Yes, so it's actually the opposite. So I created the products first, right?
Hmm.
And what was happening is I noticed that people would connect me only to my candles. And it was like, no, like my candles, the candles are not the brand, I'm the brand, you know? So for a while, it appeared as if my brand was a product-based brand, and I had to rebrand, which I did last year into this year, so I can, it can be seen as a service-based brand. I'm the brand, not the candles. The candles and the products, these are just like a byproduct of energy. It's supposed to be an alignment of mind, body, spirit. Everything is supposed to kind of like work together when it comes to healing.
Okay, no, got it. What I want to do is show your website. This is it here. Can you explain your website?
Sure. So at Energy, we use aromatherapy to help in the healing process. So all of our candles are crystal infused. I don't know if everyone here is familiar with crystals, but crystals, they have energies. They have different energies. They come from the earth, and they have stored energy, like, old wisdom, old type. So every crystal is something different. So originally, before I got into making candles, I used to meditate. So to go back to the very beginning, when I was 23, I had my first child.
Mm-hmm.
And during childbirth, it was actually very rough. I ended up, I don't like to say die, but I flatlined twice on the table, right? So I had a near-death experience.
You mean giving birth to your children?
My first child, right?
But what people don't know is that's the closest, normally when a woman is close to death, when they're giving birth to children. And so I don't think men realize that, which we should.
A lot of men don't realize that. Honestly, I was so young, I didn't even realize it. I didn't take it to be serious. And I was unwell. I didn't know I was, I didn't know I was sick until I went to the hospital. And then I had to get emergency C-section. And it just went, it went, I mean, it was successful, but I did flatline twice. And so, after I took the baby home, I did not feel like myself. I was severely depressed for about 6 months, and I just got a call to isolate. So, for 6 months, I was in deep isolation. And during this time, I started to meditate. I became a vegan. And just during that process of I call it my healing journey, right? I fell in love with crystals. So I would meditate with candles, and I would always have a crystal in my hand while I meditated. So I said to myself, why not just create a candle that has the crystals inside of it? Right. And that's how it came about. And then it just kind of like grew legs. Right. And so now that I'm 8 years into it, I realized that aromatherapy is actually used in therapy. I didn't realize it was really a thing, right? But like aromatherapy. And so the candles that I created, I have 5, right? And I have one. My favorite is the Love and Healing candle, and that candle is infused with rose quartz. And the rose quartz crystal is a crystal that is aligned with the heart chakra. So it has to do with anything that has matters of the heart. So if you are trying to attract love, you use a rose quartz crystal. If you're trying to get over love, you use a rose quartz crystal. And the way you use crystals is you can either, I have one in here. You can either you just hold it in your hand, or you can put it under your pillow. You can wear it in your clothes. And when you have it, you just light the candle. And normally what I do, I set an intention. So if I'm trying to attract love, I'll just, close my eyes, and I'll give the crystal a job to do an intention. And that's it.
Can it be? Well, what we're going to do is we're going to talk about some of your products and services. And this is when you go to your site, that would be this. And those are the candles that's in front of you. Is that correct?
Yes. So the one I have in my hand is actually my second favorite. That is the Good Luck and Abundance. That one I use just to call in just good energy, good vibes into the room. And then I have one that is normally the men gravitate toward the no bad vibes. That one has like a masculine aroma, and that one has onyx, and that one is to ward away negative energy, this yucky energy. That one is people like that one a lot. And
So
then
let's talk about these then. Here we go. All right. So let's start at the top left. That's the left.
the blue lotus.
Yes.
So this is a candle I use for meditation. Amethyst is aligned directly to your crown chakra, and it's good just to meditate, open up your third eye. So I use that to meditate. And then we have the good luck and abundance, which I was telling you about. I use that one to just bring in good vibes, this good energy into my space. And then we have my new product there. I created a daily gratitude journal. We can talk about that in a second, because that's like actually my favorite new product, the journal. I love that one. I use that. I have two I'm using right now simultaneously. But then we have that candle right there. It's the yes.
Yeah. So let's talk about this journal since it's
okay. So all right. So I am a journal girly. I have so many journals, and I find that journaling is really like it's slept on, right? A lot of times when we're having issues, right, we'll go to our friend and we'll vent to whomever, and seldom do we just take time and sit with our thoughts and go within, right? So me personally, if I'm having an issue, if I am on a thought ruminating and I can't figure it out, I can't get past it, I just journal. And I find that once I write out whatever it is bothering me on paper, one, it starts to make sense. It starts to solve itself. And I realize, okay, maybe I'm the problem here, or maybe I see something that I may have missed because it's in my headspace. So when I put it on paper and it leaves my mind, now I'm clear, right? Now I feel lighter. So I created a journal, and specifically one about gratitude, because I believe that gratitude is one of the highest frequencies. When you're always grateful, no matter what you're going through, you must always be grateful, almost have gratitude, right? Bad days, good days, you must always be grateful. So in the journal, one of the first prompts before you start to write about whatever you're going through, right? The first prompt is, what are you grateful for today? So before you start to, tell the journal about how you can't stand this, that, the third, you need to start by saying what you are grateful for.
Yeah. Like the fact you got up this morning. Okay.
Yes. The fact that God gave you a second chance to get it right. You have breath in your body. Your legs work, your arms, you know what I'm saying? Just those basic things, right? And I find that when people just realize the small things, right? You kind of realize the things you might be stressing about is really just like, okay, I might be, yeah. So that's why I have it set up that way, where the gratitude prompt is first, and then directly next to it are your goals for the day. So it could be, staying present, or I want to drink 7 glasses of water today. And then after those two things, then we can go into what exactly is bothering you.
That's interesting.
I love it. Like, and this journal, I created it myself. I was very hands-on in making it. It has stone. I love stone paper. Like, I don't know if you have you used stone paper?
It's got that sturdy feel to it, right?
My God, I love stone paper. It's so soft. It's like a baby's behind, as I swear. And like I just love how my hand feels on the paper, how the pen is on the paper. I love it. This is I love it. It's my favorite product. Like it's my new baby. Like it's my
now.
New
What
baby.
about the product? What about the candle to the right of it?
So that's the love and healing one. That's the one that has the rose quartz, and that's the one that we use to attract love, or if we're trying to get over it, anything with the matters of the heart, that is the candle. That's the go-to candle, the love and healing.
Now, what about these?
Oh, and so the green one is also a fave. That's the money draw, and that one is infused with pyrite. They call it fool's gold. So that one has citrine, aventurine, and pyrite. And you burn that candle when you are just trying to call in money. Okay, that's the money draw candle. You want to call in lots of money, that's the one you burn and you set your intention. And also, I like to say that when you have these intentions, you have to actually believe. People don't, they just come out, okay, it's not going to work. No, you have to fully believe in what you're asking the universe to provide.
Yeah, why do it in the first place if you don't believe it?
You have to fully believe. You have to kind of be like a little delulu, is what I like to say. Like, you kind of have to just, you know, you got to fake it till you make it. You know, you have to co-create with the universe. You have to believe.
Now, what is the one right next to the green, the money one?
That's the no bad vibes. That one is infused with onyx, and that one I said earlier, that one is like just for just bad energy. Like you want to get that stagnant, nasty energy out your area. That's the one you burn. Even if you're at work, you can put on your desk, right? So your coworkers that you're not really fond of, you burn in that environment and you keep that energy away from you.
You said that so nicely. Okay. Now, the one that's with the beads on it, actually, it comes as a set. It's called the 28 Discovery Set.
Yeah.
Is that because you're born on the 28th? How did you come up with that number?
Yes, it is. You caught that. That's my birth dates. Yes. This is just a mini set that I was trying to, honestly, with this set, I was playing with different fragrances and I didn't know what people would like. So I just created 4. And so this one is this, you just get a bang for your buck. Honestly, these don't have crystal, they just have nice aromas.
Good. Let me go back a second and hold on. What did I do here? Here we go. And of course, this
sage. So yes, I live by some sage. So this is a set, and in this set, you get a smudge stick, which is the sage. You get the Palo Santo, and you get selenite. So a lot of people don't know that when you smudge your space with the sage, right, you're clearing out the negative energy, right? So with the Palo Santo, that's the brown stick at the bottom.
Yeah, the wooden stick. Yeah,
it's a holy wood. This stick right here, it reintroduces good energy into the space.
And so the crystal?
That's for protection. That's a crystal for protection. It's just good to have to ward off.
I was going to say we all need a little protection around here. You know what I'm saying?
Especially these days.
But I think that's very, very interesting. Congratulations on this. Now, I think one of these products was on sale from what I saw. Was it?
I don't know. It might be the Discovery set, the one with the 4 candles. That might be that. Is that it? I can't see.
I'm not sure. One was 22, but then it was 11.
Oh, yes. I think it's probably this one.
Okay. So they get all that without the beads, of course.
Yes. No mala beads. No, just candles.
Now, what are mala beads?
Honestly, I don't really know, to be honest, but I always hear people talking about mala beads. So I have no idea. I think they're just for me, they're just good for the aesthetic. That's why I put them in a picture. I'm not going to lie to you.
Keep it real. No, not like keeping it real. Keeping it real. So, how do the women therefore get in touch with you and by the way, if any ladies out there have any questions about, okay, like Tez says, you're cooking. Okay. Yeah. And Strawberry says, loving all of these candles. Now, there was one thing I meant to mention with one of the candle illustrations. Hold up. Let me do this. Like this, for example, that I put up. Hold on. Let me get the comment thing out. So you have a thing when it's matted and something else. What does that mean?
Okay, so some of the jars are completely clear and the other ones are matted texture. And the reason why I have both lists is because I couldn't decide. I love both of them. I love how they look both aesthetically. So I'm like, you know what? Why choose? I'll just do both.
So the matter is the feel of the jar, not the contents inside the jar.
No, it's the same content. It's just the jar itself. It just feels like a matte texture as opposed to the regular clear jars. It's just different textures.
And you have to like both.
I didn't choose. I'm like, I can just do both.
Okay. Now, so by the way, let us do this. Put up the banner. So this is how people can get in touch with you.
Yes, follow my Instagram.
Yes, in fact, let me show this also um, while I'm doing this a second. So, for those of you who would wish to get to her website, this is it here. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct. And the correct, excuse me, the correct pronunciation is energy. So everyone's like, what is, how do you say it? It's energy? And what it means is like it's in you. It's your energy. It starts in you. Everything
I
starts.
like that. I
Yeah,
like that. I
everything
like
starts.
that very much.
Yes, everything starts in you. So your energy is what, when you walk through room, this introduces you. This is, who you are, your energy. So everyone's like, how do you pronounce it? It's energy. Is this your
So,
energy?
what you're saying is it's not a misspell,
Uh-uh.
but it's more symbolic.
It starts
Okay.
in you.
Okay, so again, this is her website that you go to. So when you click on it, this will be the first thing you see when you click on her website of energy
Mhm.
.co, and then from there you do your collections, background. You describe things. It's really really nice.
Thank you.
These would be excellent gifts, I guess, for people who are um, not just Mother's Day, but any day, right?
Day, yeah. Any day.
Why do we always wait for Valentine and Mother's Day to think that that's the only? That's a long time in between. A woman got to wait, to get her
I
prop.
think you should get women gifts every day, and I think men should get gifts every day too.
Well, had you ever thought about coming up with something?
Yes, so I'm actually making a collection specifically for men for Father's Day.
Well, I'd like to have you on around Father's Day. I'll make a commitment to that.
Yeah, we
Seriously,
can do
to
that.
see what
Yeah.
you got, so the sisters could help some brothers out. All right.
Yeah, it's important. To go back to what you said earlier, I do think that men should create a healthy space, because I don't know if you're like up to date on socials, but a lot of the what I see when I do see men in spaces talking amongst each other, it's kind of like a little toxic, the things that they're saying. It's
What do
not
you mean?
they're tearing down women. I don't even like the spaces where women tear down men. I don't like those
I
spaces.
was going to say, but what about women tearing down like they don't need a
I,
man?
I don't agree with that. I don't
I
agree
don't
that
agree with it either. That's crazy.
I don't agree that men don't need women or women don't need. I don't. That's not even
No,
how it's
no, that's not
created.
how it was designed to
Yeah,
be.
I don't.
And
I don't agree with that. I
so
don't.
I saw one thing recently that seems to be popular. If you're stranded in the woods, what would you want to be, with a man or a bear? And they says a bear. And I'm saying you can't be serious. You really can't be serious. Okay. So I mean, I don't know where this is coming from. What
It's social media. It's
I was
being
going
like
to say exactly.
it's being pushed. It's being pushed, and we're allowing it to permeate our minds when we know better. We know we need one another, but what happens is, some they have like male podcasts, and it's just, to me, it's just toxic. I haven't seen a lot where it's speaking positively about relationships. It's kind of like we're being pinned against each other, like, oh, I'm the prize.
I think that's a design.
And it's just like, no, it's like
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
both collectively are a unit, and we need each other, and we should respect each other. And it's not like that. So I do think that men should have a safe and healthy space where they can sit amongst other men, and they can talk about things that men should talk about amongst each other. And it should be a sacred space where they can kind of like let their guard down. I think, what, I was watching the show called The Shy last year, and in an episode of The Shy, they had like a men's group, and I just love that scene because they were able to just like, one of them, the men were in there crying. I'm like, yeah, I think that's healthy. Like, you should be in there amongst your male friends crying, like,
Yeah, but see, we would never do that in front of a woman, because they want to see our so-called sensitive side, and as soon as we show that side, then you know it's contradictory. I don't know whether it's designed like that, have always been in the nature of a woman, but to me, you can't have it both ways.
You have to find the right woman who understands you.
That is that mature woman you were talking about earlier.
Yes. You have to. Well, I don't know which woman you're referring to, but I know you need to
No,
find.
you said a mature.
Yes, yes, a mature grown adult woman that understands, like, you know what, maybe he's really having a rough day. Like, let's talk through it. You know what I'm saying? I think men need that. But like I said, social media is just so I hate it. Okay. Like, I feel like if you're not on there to like do like business, it's not really a place you need to just sit there and scroll all day. You'll get lost. And if you're not a person that's aware, like self-aware, you don't like, you lose yourself. You don't know who you are. You don't know who you are after a while. Because it's like it's information thrown at you left, right, left, right, left, right. Um it's a dangerous place if you're not aware. If you're not
Yeah,
aware.
that's too much, and it seems more divisive. And that was not. It's to me, it's almost as if it's by design
I
to
think
do that.
so.
That we're at odds with each other because the way things are going down with this economic situation and things that are happening around the world, we need each other more than ever before.
And you
And
know what I'm realizing too? I feel like it's really designed, it's really pushed amongst African American people. Because you don't really see other groups, like other groups, races or whatever. Like, you don't see Caucasian or Asians on there saying like, I don't need my man. I don't need. You only see Black women and Black men having that kind of conversation. So I really feel like it's designed to tear us apart. And I feel like, right, if you step back, right, and you think about it, you're like, why do they only push this towards Black people? It's because they do not want us to be united. They don't want us to be
yeah,
unified front. And that's why you have to make sure you are a unified front and you're supporting your man how he needs to be supported, and vice versa.
I think so too. Because the one thing I've questioned is this: they like to talk about the angry Black woman. I don't hear about the angry white woman, Hispanic woman, Asian woman. It always seems the angry Black woman. And I'm saying, what is so exclusive to that set of women ethnically that isn't to others? You mean other women don't get pissed or
Mhm.
upset or whatever the case is?
And it's so sad because the other day, because I read a lot, I'm always reading. The other day I read an article, and it was saying this, really kind of like, I was like, excuse me. It said that one of the most undesirable sort of people are Asian men and Black women.
Are you serious? And you believe that, right?
I don't believe. I think they want us to believe that.
That's what I'm saying.
They want us to believe that. And then I'm like,
Hold
that
up. That article said Asian men and also Black
Black
women?
women are the most undesirable. Mhm. And then so when they asked,
Wow, that's
so
deep.
when they asked about why Black women are undesirable, they immediately went towards, oh, Black women are too aggressive, they're too masculine, and it's just like, I don't really agree with that. I feel like some of that for women might be a response to trauma. you know we don't feel safe in a space, so we have to like show up that way. We have to show up strong in that way because we might not feel protected. But then I feel like that's when the men need to step up and like, no, sister, I got you, I'm gonna protect you. So because I also told this to my coworker earlier today, I told him, because he said to me, oh, I don't think women are submissive. I said, that's not true. I said, women by nature want to submit. However, we need to feel safe in order to submit. We need to be with a man who's a leader, right? Because women, we want to submit. We don't want to carry the weight. We want, we don't want to carry it. We want to submit.
It's a
But
lot of responsibility to being a man. Trust me.
and the thing is, like, I recognize that. That's why it's a balance. That's why it has to be a unified front. We have to be a team, right? And so I was like, I don't agree with the narrative that some women are masculine or aggressive because they have to be that way, right? Because if you're not doing, I have to do. I have to protect myself, but it shouldn't be that way. We want to feel safe and we want to submit. So when we have a man who's truly in his masculine, right? Yeah, babe, you got it. I'm following your lead. Where are we going? I'm following your lead. You got it. But you have to be a leader. You have to lead us, right?
Yeah,
And
that makes sense.
women will submit.
Well, MW here says her daughter just celebrated her born day on Sunday, the 16th. She
Um,
absolutely loves candles and been concerned about her federal job. This will boost her morale.
I'm happy. I'm sure it will. And you know what? Even with all that stuff going on with, and it's easier said, because I'm not in that position, but God will always provide. You just have to kind of believe that. Like, what's meant for you is going to be for you. You don't let that
I'll
stuff.
stay on that one. Definitely.
God's going to provide, this stuff is all like, I think it's like mental warfare that throw us off, because like every day is like a new bill being signed, new that, new this, new that. And I think and this is why right now the unified front is important, and unify even within our family structure too, right? We just need to be unified as a community, as a family, men and women, because I think the next 4 years is going to kind of be kind of like a roller coaster of emotions, and you just have to have strong foundation, right, so we can get through it. So
this is a very interesting thing in light of what we just talked about. She says all women experience being angry. I found that most women behave very similarly to Black women. I mean, what's exclusive? A woman is a woman is a woman, basically, biologically.
Yes.
Now, maybe culturally, that's different. She says, I think for women of other ethnicities, it is more tolerated. In other words,
I agree. I agree with her. Even when you see like a quote unquote angry Black man, right? When you see a Black man that's angry, everyone is like, oh my God, he's so aggressive. It's like, but if it's a white man that's behaving that way, it's more tolerated, right? But when it's a Black man who's just maybe speaking loudly or passionately, everyone is kind of like, oh, like he's angry, he's this, he's that. And is this, I think it's just, and this is why, again, I stress why Black people need to be united, right? And it says again, where we had to protect our men. Yes, I read that too. So I read a book. It's called The Post-Traumatic Slave Syndrome. Have you read that? It's a really good book. It talks about how trauma is passed down through DNA. It's a really deep book. One thing I remember about that book specifically that kind of like rang true to me is like Black women have the tendency to say, oh yeah, my kid, he's just so bad, he's bad, right? And it's like that comes from slavery times, right, when the mother would tell the master like, oh no, he's bad, so the master wouldn't take their child away. And so it's passed down through our DNA, that same rhetoric. So things like that. And they talk about how trauma is also passed down through DNA. So a lot of things that we do are done subconsciously because of like trauma that we don't even know exists, So that's why it's just, I stress this. We just need to be unified. Like,
well, I'm on the same page. My whole thing is they got us cloning each other, but that's why this is the Live with Lloyd family. That's the whole point of a family, to have a sense of unity. We all need each other. I can't do without you, and hopefully you can't do without me in that sense. Because let me tell you, when this country falls apart economically, and you see how many people have been laid off since 47th president has come into office. People are getting laid off, and see, although affecting the government, the ripple effect will spill over eventually into the private sector too. So a lot of people who think their jobs are secure will no longer find it secure. And what I'm saying, we're going to need each other more than ever before to act as one, as a family, so we can barter or trade or help each other out. Because if you think you're going to do it by your own, you will drown. There's no question.
What is the saying? They say, if you want to go quick, you do it alone. If you want to go far, something like that. If you want to go far, you do it with someone. If you want to do quick, you do it by yourself. Something to that effect. But
it's called unity. As, Charlotte says, that's it in a word.
Yeah, I just stress that. I just stress it. So when I'm coaching someone and she's having issues with her partner or whatever, and a lot of times we just kind of like, sometimes when we're venting, we're like negative, like talking about their flaws or whatever the case may be, and I kind of try to stop them, what is your role in what's going on here? Because it can't just be one person that's doing all the bad. Like, you have to play some type of role, right? Like, let's meet in the middle, So I just really wholeheartedly stress that. Like, I just want men to know that you need women, and women, you need the men. And once we can get past our petty, misunderstandings or idiosyncrasies, you realize like, yeah, we're really it. Like
Is it-
people look to Black people like, for inspiration
we have been inspiring.
forever.
All the music from jazz to hip
Everything,
hop to country to reggae to
everything,
you name it. All of it
everything.
comes from our culture.
And they
So,
want us they want us to not be aware. They want us to forget. They want us to be like docile and
well,
just
that's not happening. Not
right.
over here, anyway. Not in this room. It's not
Mhm,
happening,
mhm.
as far as I'm concerned. But listen, I do want to thank you very much.
Oh,
We
thank
just have a
you.
couple of minutes and not quite finished yet, but I want to make sure that people get a hold of you in terms of how to reach out to you. Please support her Cash App. She does have children.
Oh, yeah.
Babies need shoes. She's moving. That's what they used to say. Baby needs shoes. Okay.
Yes, I have four little people.
This is exactly what I'm talking about. So babies need shoes. Okay.
That's
Lots of
okay.
shoes. Okay.
You're showing your age. You're showing your age.
No, but that's all right. We age very well, if you notice, too. Okay.
We
That's another
do.
thing.
Black
That's another thing that other people can't boast. We wear our age very well. Okay.
gracefully.
So at any rate, I can't believe they said that black people
Undesirable.
are
And that's not true because people you see like even like
That's crazy.
the BBLs because white women they wanted to be curvy, like how we're naturally already hippie and even down to that their hair, they perm it so it can be curly or they tint.
Excuse me. That's a perfect example right there. Look how beautiful you look. Okay. Let us be clear. All
Yeah,
right.
we are the prototype. We are the blueprint. We are the originals. Like so, when I'm like, that's not true. I didn't even.
You know,
I didn't.
melanin is sold on the stock exchange too.
Would you say melanin? You said.
Melanin. Our melanin is
Mm-hmm.
on the stock exchange.
Mm-hmm.
So so all these should be clues, my folks, my family, as to how dynamic, how
We are
really great we are. And if we don't see it, I don't know what to do. But
right.
maybe, because when the president came in office, he says there's going to be pain. So if there's pain for the general population, I know it is going to be for us. So we better like hunker down, handle our businesses together as a family, period. And we'll survive too. We'll
We
definitely
always
survive.
do. We always do.
Well, we
We
only
always
brought here temporarily, hundreds of years ago. We still here.
we
We're
always
still
do.
here.
We take the bare minimum. Nothing out of we make something out of nothing. Like we're great for that, but we just need to do it together so we can go far.
Yeah.
Yes.
So also visit her YouTube channel. She has an Instagram. It's IN.URGY. So when you go there to see what she's doing on her Instagram, her site is, as you see, energy.com. And let me put that up again so people have no question as to how that is. Let me take this off a second. This is where you go. Just
Yeah.
type it, and you will be an introduction to what we've seen on the screen. And then you go and please order her products and services too. Please support. This is great. This is great, Sasha B. I enjoyed this.
I did too. I'm happy you had me, invited me. I'm super happy.
I
I like
told
this
you it was a piece
connection.
of cake.
Mhm.
I told you it was easy, no problem. And I think you said this was the first time doing something like this.
Yes, like a YouTube live. Yes. I'm not social media savvy. I'm trying my best. I'm trying my very best. So I will be posting some YouTubes on like some videos, some clips.
Good.
But this is my first time doing a YouTube live. Yes, my first
Well,
time.
good. I'm glad that we had the good fortune of having you on the Live with Lloyd family first, live and in person.
Yeah.
Okay. So now, I don't know, will the men's products be available or to be able
Father's
to show us
Day.
all about in June?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So we'll make sure that you're back on around there so the
Yes.
sisters can do something for the brothers.
Yes.
Okay.
They're appreciated and they love.
All right. So Sasha, thank you so much, dear. And you have a blessed day. This was fun. And
Yeah.
I know you have 4 youngsters in the house, so I ain't hear a peep, okay?
They've been knocking at my door. They've been knocking, but I really appreciate this, Lord. I really, really appreciate this.
We do too. We do too.
Okay.
Thank you so
All right,
much,
everyone,
Sasha.
have a good night. Thank you, guys.
Okay, have a blessed day.
Me too.
So everybody, this is her website to go to. It is Synergy, um, or Energy rather,
Mhm.
INURGY. Go there to download and get the wonderful products and services that you saw on the screen. These are just some of them to order for yourself. Candles. Very interesting story. Very, very interesting story. So I really, really let me do this. Get this done. So everybody, I want to thank you. By the way, the sponsors have been brought to you by now Monday, all you're gonna have my attention. I saw some birthdays on here. I'm going to do that. I'm going to focus on birthdays. I'm going to talk about how I'm getting these assessments when I do what I call the personal months, the personal weeks, all that other stuff. I'll explain exactly how I do this thing to a degree, right? But in the meantime, I do have to thank all my sponsors, which is UJuice. Uh, to go to Levitt, Livet store, store.com. That's Levitt store to order yours. Mine is the purple. Well, that's one of my colors anyway, but that's a like great, great juice. I've had all three, but that's my favorite. So I've ordered a case of those that I've got, and they come quickly. You order on Monday, probably by Friday or Saturday, you'll have it sitting in front of your door. So this is it. It is free of all these GMOs and sugar and everything of that nature. Also, I want to thank Nicholas Brooklyn. They're going into their 51st year, so we're going to need to have an update and put a one behind that zero to celebrate them going into 54 years of being in business. That is a store. I guarantee you cannot go in there and come out with one item. Don't take my word. Go to 1396 Fulton Street in Brooklyn, the way by York, New York, that is. And I defy anyone to get out of there without buying a couple of items, okay? Also, I want to thank Ms. Kimberly for Manifest on Purpose, whose podcast the show. Very interesting. We work together in tandem with each other during the monthly forecast that you can see. Also to Inkaru, who is going to be part of the Power Series for March, talking about precious stones. Um, he is having a feature. In fact, he's in Nairobi now on a tour, as you see right there, and it's coming up at the end of the week. And my buddy King Simon, who is having his on the following day on Saturday, the 22nd of the month. And as those of you who saw us on a couple of days ago, it was fun. I'm always learning from this brother. In fact, when I was able to just show the screen, let me show you this. Okay, let me see how I did this. I learned this on Monday from Simon. So this is new for me. So I'll be showing more of these kinds of things. I said, let me see if I can do this. And yes, I was able to do it. So I was just too thrilled. Okay. So enough of that. Anyway, I'm going to be featuring a workshop of how to do this. So believe me, when a lot of people have been laid off, what I can do is I'm going to show people how they can actually make a living, learning the art of numerology as a career. Yes, this is a career. I've done this for like 4 decades plus. I've written books on the subject. I've been to several parts of the world, from India to China to Egypt, you name it. Because of this science that I never in my wildest dreams did I ever thought that I would learn so much. So for those of you who are interested in making a living with it, go to Lloyd-Strayhorn.com. That's Lloyd-Strayhorn.com. Or you can send an email to numbersinu LLC@gmail.com. That's numbersinu LLC@gmail.com. Express it. We're not going to have, it's not open season. It's going to be a select group of people, because I want to put 5 weeks of teaching you how to make this a career, as I've done. Had somebody told me I'd make a living doing this, I said, yeah, right. But that's exactly what I do. Also, sign up for the free monthly newsletter. We don't sell your names, your email addresses. We don't play that. And for those of you who don't want to read it, you can hear it. This is the thing that Ms. Kimberly and I do every month, where we do an assessment. So if you want to know about your zodiac signs and whatnot, this is the place to go. So everybody, I do want to thank you very, very much. Y'all have a great weekend, and a special, special thanks to my wonderful guest, Sasha B. And hopefully this has made some things clear. Everybody, please have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. Take good care of yourselves, and we will talk to you soon. Okay? Bye.